Hello. In the last video, we went through tabs 1 through 5 of the service menu, and in this video we're going to focus on the technical menu, as there's a little bit more to it. The technical menu is blocked or secured by a password. It is 8700#. As you'll notice, there is nothing to indicate that I hit the code. In future versions of the software that will be corrected, but for now, just be mindful that it will appear like it's not working, but it is. We will start at recipes and events. So there are several menus in here. With this events, we can change the amount of water filter or brewer waste or paper roll. So here's where we can change how much we want our counter to be set. Obviously you'll use the keypad to change that and hit enter. There's event settings, so we'll go in here. And this screen has decounters. We can turn on or off the decounters, which were the brewer waste and so on. If it's green, they'll be enabled. If it's red, they'll be disabled. You can turn on or off your enable fill to par. You can set the par percentage, and you can set the amount of weight associated with each product, which will help with the measuring of your pars. Going back over to the left, you have machine disable and you have free vend. So you'll see when I click machine disable, a little orange line comes out and covers Monday through Sunday. You'll see when I click free vend, a green line comes out and it's covering Monday through Sunday. So make sure that you selected the right one. You can see machine disable has orange, and free vend, when it's turned on to program, has green. And then if you actually want to enable them, you'll have to make sure the button is turned from red to green as well. At this point, you set your times that you want them to be disabled or free vended. The scenario right now, or the programming limitation, is if you only want a free vend on Tuesday, say, you'll have to set Wednesday through Monday to have a free vend from 11:59 till midnight, for just 1 minute in the middle of the night. That's how you get through that. Same deal with machine disable. If we want to go back to the top of the technical menu, all we have to do is hit the technical menu tab. If you hit the service menu instead, or any other tab, and you go back to technical menu, you'll have to put the password in again. Moving on to payments and pricing. This is where you will set all your pricing. You'll see there's a few options. Since we have different cup sizes, we have to set our prices for both cup sizes. You can do all same price. If that's set to green, that means everything in the 8 ounce is going to be $1. In this example, everything at 12 ounce is going to be $5. Now, if I unclick all same price, everything is set for $5, but I can go in and change it to whatever price I want, as you can see. And you would do that for all of them. You can also set prices for the condiments if you want to charge an extra dime for extra sugar or anything like that. You're welcome to do that. Now, here's a question that's come up a few times. If you're using the same cup size, 8 ounce and 8 ounce, will the software be able to discern that you want all your 8 ounce at $1 or 50 cents or whatever the case is? And the answer is no. As of now, if both of these were 8 ounce, you would have to set all the 8 ounce prices on the left side, and if this was 8 ounce, you would have to set all the 8 ounce prices on that side. Same can be said because each one of these represents a different cup turret. So just be mindful of that. You will have to fill up both cup turrets, because when one cup turret runs out, if people keep selecting from that cup turret, it will indicate that they're out of cups. Hopefully that'll help clear up a few things, as we've had some cup issues like that out in the field. Payment settings, pretty simple stuff, but you have your single vend or your force vend option, and with escrow you can do first bill or last bill, and you can do a tube fill down here as well. If we click back to technical menu, I believe that's all on payments and pricing. You know what? We spent so much time in the event settings that I forgot we hadn't even looked at beverages and condiments. So if we go back to recipes and events, let's look at beverages and condiments. If we click beverages, you see you can hit this button at any time to go back to the factory defaults. You are able to do a lot in here. There is a default setting for all the recipes. They're typically just fine right out of the box. But if you want to add a little more coffee, or a little more steep time or pump time to the decaf coffee freshly brewed, you can hit that plus key. Now it only goes up so high. We only allow about a 10% up or down margin. If you need anything More than that, typically have to call the technical support. Also, make sure that your bowls aren't clogging, especially with something like hot chocolate or something like that. Because if people want more chocolate flavor and they claim it's not coming, sometimes it's from a jam. With each recipe, you can choose if you just want it to be on 1 cup size or both. The post delay is just a little extra timer that we typically don't use for after the drink is dispensed. Condiments, you can dictate if you want to add the ability to have someone add chocolate flavoring to the decaf, that you can, or French vanilla, or caramel. Since decaf only has the 1 ingredient, that's the only ingredient you have to set, and you can turn on or off the whipper, which wouldn't apply to the decaf, but these are all the options you have. And then you just click through the arrow and you'll go to different recipes. You can see same deal with premium coffee freshly brewed. If we get to a recipe with more than 1 ingredient, like here's a cafe mocha, it has the medium roast, it has milk, and it has chocolate, and they have the whippers on. I mean, in most cases you're going to leave these, leave them as is, but if the overwhelming consensus from the site, I should say, is that there's not enough chocolate product, you can bump up the chocolate a little bit and change various settings within here to change the recipes. And again, if none of the changes are to your liking, you can always hit factory default. So there's your recipes. And then in your condiments, you have the options to go through each one of these. Right now we're on sugar, for example. And as I click through, there's milk, there's chocolate, there's French vanilla, caramel. So if we go back to the start with sugar, each one of these steps is dictated by a step, if you will. I guess it kind of looks almost like a Wi-Fi strength signal, if you will. So if they press the first step, it's going to be 1.5 grams of sugar. If they press the second step, in this instance, it's going to be 5, and the third, and the fourth. So you can adjust these up or down if people are saying overwhelmingly that they're not getting enough sugar for their coffee, or down if they're getting too much. So here's where you would adjust that. And then lastly, we're at the UCB settings. There's not too much here in this demo version, but you'll see the firmware version, which sometimes we'll need to know for troubleshooting purposes. You'll see the temperature that you can set in a certain range. You'll see whether the mug sensor is turned on or off. Green is always on, gray is off. And then you have your cup station light, and you can have it flash, be steady, or flash and be steady when the cup station is activated. Or you can turn it off completely. So that's the whole technical menu. Obviously, if you have any questions, you can always email customercare@veii.com or contact us at 888-816-8348. If you ever can't get through, please leave a message, as we respond to everything as quickly as we can. Alright, thanks for watching this tutorial.